There's been further confusion on this tag word human. It's so used in a loose manner that it's hard for me to deal with the subject matter as I would talk about the word smart, which has the word art in it. It's an artifice word. It doesn't mean wisdom, it means injury. But you can't tell people this in the world of legal because they believe that smart is wisdom. So they send their children to school in the public school system, the tax system, to be smart, to injure themselves. They can't see that. And if actually they're fighting to get their children into that system, fighting against the people that are against the masks and the jabs that their children will not take or that they themselves won't take. But I wonder, why are they fighting into that? Why do they want to be part of the dumb? Why do they want to inculcate false knowledge into their children by sending them into these cesspools of dung, of knowledge? It's complete manure that you'll get from a school system. It is designed to actually be controlled by those who rule it. So when we talk about the word human, that bothers me even at the greatest level because that's run by the Bill Gates and the people like that. These are people that are against God, against spirituality. They're about controlling you in a very evil, satanic, or devilish way. And so therefore they come up with human rights and those terminologies. But we have to understand something, that the terminology of human in its definition means belonging to man. So it's something that is part of the imagination or the property, the patent of a man. A man who can patent something in his imagination and then control those that are under him. Now, these are evil men. They know that they're not human, but they want to control people like chattel, for the purpose of running them due to their lack of knowledge. So they remove them from spirituality because they want them to have nothing to do with God or the Bible or anything to do with anything that leads to spirituality. So they move it away from that. They will tell you about science. And it's amazing how the ridiculous comments come from those who support what is false science, because true science supports the creation account, supports the fact there is a source of life, supports the miracle and the amazing situation that we have to deal with in such an ominous way when we realize that life is absolutely a miracle and is coming from a source that we do not control. So when we're dealing with those that are running the system, they're going to run an organization called Human Resources, Human Rights, the UN Code on Human Rights. It's to make you deceived into believing that somehow you have some kind of salvation in their legal world of commerce, while they're using you for commercial trade and using you as a dumbed down surety who doesn't realize that their imagination does not work without you suretying the very imagination that they put out there. So 1 Corinthians 7:23 talks about God having sent his son as a messenger to purchase you with a price. He was referred to as the last Adam because this Adam did not sin, did not enter into debt, had no corruption, was made in the image of God. Therefore, he would never see corruption, and therefore all those that were of God's creation would reflect being eternal. Not in the sense of some new age thought. They were eternal on the earth. They were a very specialized creation that God had put there. And let's not get into that the earth couldn't handle the population. In a perfect world, it could have. But unfortunately, with bad management from evil, no, it wouldn't. And it would mismanage itself and lead to the problems we are today, where people believe that it's best to eliminate population in order to, ferment a balanced ledger on the books, on who they're looking after in a legal sense. So 1 Corinthians 7:23 says you are bought with a price, be ye not the servants of men. So if you're a human, you are a servant of a man. A man who uses you like a tool to be a human. So you humans out there, I feel sorry for you. Because you don't know who you are. And now you've been conned into the unnation, the actual pinnacle of the power of Satan with a serpent around it, running by the World WHO organization. And if we remember in previous videos, I mentioned where the first rendering of the word who showed up in the Bible is when man basically was already engaged in trespass and sin and debt, and the Creator said, who told you you were naked? So you'd have to cover up who you were. So, of course, the cover-up document for the legal system has to have a cover-up name on you to cover up who you really are in truth, because they need you to act in fiction. So they need a cover name, a mask legal surname, in order to cover up the truth, the naked truth of who you are. We knew we were born naked, we came into the world naked, and we leave naked even in the world of sin, but not in God's eternal plan. So now we're dealing with God's people. Question, do you have legal rights if you believe you're spiritual of God, your Creator? Could you have legal rights? Well, legal rights, as we mentioned in a previous video, are bestowed upon you or granted to you by a legal system that can take them away, utilize them. God doesn't do that. God says you stay within my natural system. I don't remove any of the things I give you. But in the legal system, we'll pull it away because we're dealing with confused individuals who are in between natural and legal. So the legal system promotes the idea of human rights. Don't be deceived, because that was the definition that was placed in there by them to make sure that they could control that, repeal it, bring it back, take away, remove, so they could control what was not cooperating. And therefore, that was not the purpose of God. The purpose of God had direct, natural, harmonious